This will probably be the most realistic little kind of building a business vlog that you'll see in a while. And the main reason is I've been building a business for the past 3 years, and life is not just glamorous, great cars and fast-paced life and stuff like that. I still eat a lot of shit, and I want to talk a little bit about like kind of what that's like, what basically the struggles, the day-to-day, what does it actually look like? And a little bit today on a busy day for me. I have a meeting that I got to go to in a half hour, about 50 minutes. After that, I got some events I got to go to. And right now I'm in the middle of a little bit of a business pivot. I have a team that I got to take care of. I got some projects going on, but my margins are basically razor thin because while we make the pivot, I'm good, we're okay, but the business is not growing because I have to take kind of like one step back to take the next two forward, right? And that happens sometimes. And taking those is a gamble because you don't know when are those next two steps going to be taken forward. You don't actually know. You play with a lot of uncertainty. And so that is incredibly anxiety inducing when you have more than just yourself to take care of and you got a team and stuff like that. And that is the reality of day-to-day, like what does it actually entail running a business. The other part is nobody really tells you what to do. Like figuring out those next two steps for me, I'm pretty set in how I'm going about those. Like there's a lot of different options and you got to figure out which one's the right option for you. And there is no guidebook. A lot of people ask for plain and simple answers. What do I do now? What's the best this? What's the best business? What's the best tech stack? The reality is there's no clean answer for all of those. The game of business is figuring out a lot of that by yourself. Maybe this isn't the glamorized kind of reality that a lot of people want to see, but it's true. And I think any real entrepreneur, real founder will spend a lot of time in doubt, in uncertainty. That is part of it. That is the reality of the day-to-day. Today spent literally some time figuring out what are my priorities for this week? Like what am I actually focusing on in order to move the needle forward? What are the most important activities and how am I focusing on those? And then I go and execute on those. Other than that, I got meetings to get into certain communities here in London that I'm interested in being a part of, that have access to other important, interesting people who I can collaborate with, who I can learn from, things like that. I think those in-person relationships are extraordinarily important, so I'm booking more meetings, doing things like that. And then in the evening, I got an event that I'm going to that is also, again, to meet some new faces and basically get more familiar with the scene over here. I think this is another caveat that's really important, which is if you want to build a business wherever you are, sure, you're online, but you want to move to a place where there's more happening, there's more wealth running around you, and so there's more to learn from, but you have to make an active effort to embed yourself. So basically, I spend most of my days alone, and I have to go out of my way to integrate myself with a bunch of strangers. My team is fully remote. That comes with some advantages, but also disadvantages. One of the disadvantages being I work alone pretty much 90% of the time. That is the reality of it. I have no complaints. It just is what it is. I think once you run a business for a few more years, I think if you can bring an in-person office, if you can work with people around you, I think that's really, really cool. But to start with, if you're moving around a lot and you move to a bigger city, man, you probably don't know a whole lot of people. I knew a few people coming here, but I still have a long way to go as far as expanding my network. And that means going out of my way, pushing myself to basically make a lot of friends with people who I don't know. And I have to make friends with them fast, and I have to create and foster a lot of strong relationships and really kind of make an effort to do that well. That is what my day and time consists of doing right now. It's a lot of that kind of relationships and figuring things out. That's actually what I spend my time doing. Maybe contrary to popular belief, 3 years in, you don't spend most of your time on a yacht sipping champagne and just looking over the ocean views or whatever, or taking international, meetings with the CEOs of large banks. Like you're not a big shot. In the grand scheme of things, your business is still very, very extraordinarily small. Just 3 or 4 years in, that's very small. I'm only 2.5 years in, really. So it's a long road. And for me, it's a fulfilling one. I have no doubts. No qualms. I'm very happy where I am. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna head off to the event. Well, to my meeting first, then the event, and then I will hopefully film a little more of an update later when I get back. So I just got back home. It's not too late. The event was decent. The meeting was great. Nothing special. But the event was, it was nice to meet some people, but it's tiring. It's not super fun. It gets repetitive. Sometimes you meet some people who are, they're like 2 months in and they're building their first company and they've got some wacky idea and you chat to them and then you got to move on to the next conversation and the next one and you do the little rounds and then you leave and it's not all fun and games. I just got back home and now I'm going to be doing a little bit more work. Nothing too serious, but thinking again, just sitting back down and sitting, okay, what's the next step? Are these steps that I'm taking, are they correct? Are they the best possible steps? It's a lot of thinking and not knowing, not having the answer. That's the day-to-day. But anyway, it's it's not super late. I'll probably be asleep by 10 to 11. I like to try and sleep around then and then wake up maybe around 6. At most, I will, basically in the evenings, usually I'll get back home pretty late and I will just watch like an episode of something, 40 minutes to an hour of just time for my brain to not think about work stuff, and then I'll go to sleep, and that's pretty much it. And I'll make popcorn because I like that. It's like a little thing for me. And so you find little comforts, little creature comforts. But other than that, your days, I think as an entrepreneur, especially in the early days, are a lot of uncertainty, a lot of just like going through the motions and having no idea if you're rowing the boat in the right fucking direction or not. There are a handful of people who will cover all of your feed, everywhere, who got it right and things work out and it's fucking amazing. Truth be told, there's so many things behind the scenes that you will almost never see that goes into those people who have these like crazy successes almost immediately. You have to be in the game for a while and figuring things out for things to work, and it's okay if things take time. I think impatience is something I struggle with, which is why I share that perspective. Anyway, that's a wrap on my day. Comment if you have any other questions about, what it's like or anything else. I record every day, and so that's pretty much it for me.